No matter how real it might feel at times, the Arrowverse is completely fictional. There are no metahumans, and even though this world doesn't exist in the real life, it doesn't mean that the actors participating in all the action happening in it don't train behind the scenes and prepare themselves mentally and, more importantly, physically, or simply said, getting ripped to perform the part. And most of their stunts on their own, and today we're going to tell you about some of the Arrowverse actors who got ripped for their role. Enjoy! Number 10. Stephen Amell, Arrow.
I am the Green Arrow.
Starting off our list with the one who started it all, the Arrowverse, everything in motion, Stephen Amell. He's also probably the one who set the bar for the level of physical fitness and toughness for many other actors joining in the Arrowverse. The Arrow, as a whole, has one of the most fit casts out of any TV shows from the Arrowverse, and you'll see that too shortly. Ever since landing the role of Oliver Queen, Stephen seems like he never stopped being devoted to keeping himself in peak physical condition, the same way he came on the big screen for the very first time. He also added that he needs to look like that so that he can be seen as a character who's capable of doing serious damage. Number 9. Katee Sackhoff, The Flash.
Step forward, Sal Franco, or I'll kill all of you.
Katee Sackhoff joined the Arrowverse during the 4th season of The Flash, and even though most of her action scenes revolve around her pointing her hand and spouting some sassy line, she has proven to be a villain worthy of being a big threat. She came into the scene as one of the toughest female actors, preparing physically for her role even though it wasn't really required of her. But this physical training became her nature from when she was part of Battlestar Galactica, in which she needed to be in shape and bulked up, looking like she could take on a man twice her size, stunt which she also did on the big screen back in the day. And it seems like she carried that same energy into the Arrowverse too, deserving a spot on our list. Number 8. Dominic Purcell, Legends of Tomorrow.
Well, considering I've tried to kill the groom a couple of times, it's probably best I sit on the bride's side.
While Heatwave might look more deranged than tough in the Legends of Tomorrow series, mostly because Mick Rory has been mostly used for laughs in the series, it's also worth mentioning that Mick was a hardened criminal before joining the time-traveling crew. Dominic is not only an intimidating-looking guy, he's also physically prepared, ripped for the role to be the persona he's portraying in the likes of Mick. And not just look like it, he prepared himself for the role in order to do most of his stunts that required more than just the physical appearance of him, but also the strength behind it, and he delivered the right way in that department. Number 7. Mccad Brooks, Supergirl.
Probably burn up a lot of calories fighting an axe-wielding alien. Meet me on the roof.
The sidekick of Superman is differently depicted in the Arrowverse, and instead of going under the name of the nerdy Jimmy, here he goes by the name of James, a bulked-up sidekick on which you can also count on the physical side of things. For a long time, Mccad has been dedicated to building his body after landing the role and actually appearing in the show. He has also been prominent on getting ripped for a role. He also played a football player in Necessary Roughness and was a starring character on True Blood, a series in which nearly every man had to be ripped. So he's not strange to getting some physical training for a role, a training he did for the role of James in the Arrowverse. Number 6. Manu Bennett, Arrow.
Welcome home.
Slade Wilson was the big bad in the 2nd season of Arrow, and he was a force to be reckoned with, even before taking the Mirakuru and becoming a deranged super soldier. And the reason for Deathstroke looking as intimidating as he was comes from the hulking figure of Manu Bennett, the actor portraying the role. Thankfully, he has never done anything quite as violent as Deathstroke in his real life. Manu's considerable ripped size is what made the character look like he could snap Stephen's tiny-looking body in two when both of them were in the same scene. And all of his muscles are not just for show, you wouldn't want to mess with this guy. Number 5. Katarina Law, Arrow.
I hear you've taken my husband as your own.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that later.
Before landing the role as Nyssa, Law's character Mira in Spartacus is from where she learned how to handle and shoot a bow and arrow. Not an easy process to learn, but she brought what she learned to Arrow too, so this skill of hers served her well. She has also been involved in many physical training sessions which helped her do her own stunts on the show, and when you see Nyssa wielding a bow and arrow, it is all her. No stunt doubles or anything like that. She isn't nearly as dangerous as Nyssa because she is, after all, one of the best living fighters in the Arrowverse. Number 4. Julianna Harkovy, Arrow. The third Black Canary in the impressive Canaries from the Arrow series is Julianna Harkovy, portraying the role of Dinah Drake after the passing of Laurel Lance and the retirement of Sarah Lance, taking on the mantle of Black Canary. And even though being an actress is her primary career, her participation in athletics is not a joke. So getting ripped in her own way for the role was not a hard thing to do. She has long been interested in fitness, but when she was cast as Black Canary, she really threw herself into working out, getting that extra physical toughness she needed for the Arrowverse. Number 3. David Ramsey, Arrow. David Ramsey's John Diggle has been Oliver Queen's partner right from the start, and him being the one was just the right move for the role of Sparta, the sidekick anyone would want. Though he's known to be sweet in personality, his physical resume is not a joke. A resume that rivals the character he's playing on the big screen, which is a huge feat on its own. He's not a special ops officer, but he's a martial arts master, and his training for the role in terms of physical strength should have been a joke, and him getting ripped an even easier task. He's also an expert in kickboxing, so don't dare doing anything stupid and assaulting him by any chance. Number 2. Katie Lotz, Legends of Tomorrow.
If you try to bring me into the bureau, I'll break your arm. It's up to you, right or left.
Yet another actor who got ripped for a role to match it is Katie Lotz, who after landing the role of Sarah Lance in the second season of Arrow, she pushed her body to the limits, investing herself in rigorous physical training to be the counterpart of the character she was about to portray on the big screen. During her time in the Arrowverse, she was strongly against stunt doubles taking on the dangerous physical fights of her character and was prepared enough to do them all, which she eventually did, especially during her time in Legends of Tomorrow. This feat alone resulted in one of her most impressive physical displays of her career so far. Number 1. Melissa Benoist, Supergirl. There's a reason why Supergirl exists in her own universe in the Arrowverse. She's capable of handling almost every problem single-handedly, and outside of the CGI effects used in her combats, like the laser eyes and the flying thing, all of the physical movements required in the show, Melissa did them herself. Once she got the job for Kara Danvers, the strongest hero in the Arrowverse, she also had to look like it, so she threw herself completely into training, believably be called the Girl of Steel. And today, she's a lot more than just a pretty face, she has more of the Kara Danvers in her real-life self, training for her physical strength right from the start, and the looks just show the results themselves. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below which of these stars you are not expecting on this list and why. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.